Hi, this is Mike from DynamicPoint. This is a demonstration of our Office 365 based employee expense management app by the name of EasyEXP365. What makes EasyEXP365 different? First, it is Office 365 based using the Power Platform. The app is added to your environment and you store the data in your own Office 365 tenant. This approach gives us enormous flexibility that you could manage, and it leverages products that you already own. Let's look at each of these individually. SharePoint is going to be used for receipt storage as well as all of the data that's pertinent for expense reporting. Power Apps is going to provide the mobile entry and is entirely configurable. Power Automate will provide the expense review as well as any other business automation required. And lastly is our DynamicPoint application. It's going to provide the expense management and ultimate ERP integration. This is the process that we're going to walk through in the EasyEXP365 application. First, receipt. Employee captures the receipt and codes it. Second, processing. AP overview of the various expenses coming into the application, and this step is optional. Third, review. The manager is going to review and approve the expense report. Lastly, integration. The transaction will be created in the underlying ERP. Let's go look at the application. We're going to cover several different ways that an employee could submit an expense for reimbursement. The first method we're going to cover is the use of the Power App mobile application. Here on the left-hand side, you can see I'm sharing my phone in which I could enter expense items, auto items, and credit card items. Let's start off first with expense items. We're going to take a picture of the receipt on the screen, submit it, and you can see OCR has captured all of the relevant information from the receipt that I just took a picture of. Next, let's look at auto items. Auto items calculate reimbursement for travel incurred by the employee. By putting in a from and a to, the application will calculate the distance for me using a map integration. I'll go ahead and save this item. Lastly, we have credit card items. Credit card items came in from a feed from the credit card provider. These items I don't have to create, but I could go ahead and add more detail as well as classify them for appropriate coding. Again, when I'm completed with the item, I could go ahead and submit it. That's enough of the mobile app. Now let's go look at other methods that employees can capture receipts for reimbursement. Here you can see that same application that I just used for my mobile device could also be utilized from the Teams application. Again, I could add items and submit them for review and approval. The last option that I'd like to cover is the ability to incorporate your own custom forms. Here I have a document library with some sample forms. If I open one, you'll see an Excel template that is utilized to capture employee expenses. If you're already using something like this, whether it be Excel, PDF, or any other format, you could continue to use it and we will automate the capture of your receipts using your preferred method. Enough of the receipt capture, let's look at the processing of these expense reports. If I go to my SharePoint dashboard, I'll see an icon for expense report processing. Here I could see expense reports across all of the users in the system. So all of the expenses being submitted from either apps or Teams or custom forms are creating expense reports automatically that someone in accounting could go review. This step is optional. Each of these expense reports I could open and look at the detail. Next, let's look at the managerial review of these expense reports. After an expense report is captured and submitted, it will go to an open review using Power Automate. If I were to open up my email, here you can see I've captured a new approval task for the review of the expense report that was just submitted. A manager could approve or reject it from the email, or if they choose to, they could drill into the expense report and see the full detail. Here I can look at all the line items that were submitted as well as the attachments of the actual receipts. After my review is complete, I could approve it or reject it directly from the review page, as well as the email, or even Teams has an approval app. After opening the Teams approval app, I'll see all of those requests that are waiting for me to review and approve. If I were to leave the approval and go back to the dashboard of the expense app, I can see the status of it has been updated based on my review. Reviewer notes have been captured, as well as I have a full audit of each step in the workflow. Upon the last step in the workflow, the transaction will automatically be created in the underlying ERP application. That's all the time we have today, so let's go back to the presentation. The lesson is don't get sold on bringing sand to the beach. Use what you already own, namely Office 365, to automate employee expense management. If you're interested in more product information and a list of the ERPs that we have integrations with, please check out our website at DynamicPoint.com. If you'd like to schedule a live demo, you could also do so as well from the website. And here's a contact email for us at info@dynamicpoint.com. Thank you.